they can be in this at any moment. They just gotta up their mental game, let their talent speak.
Amazing placement. What a shot.
That was a Yahtzee overhead.
Aspect of mental toughness here that's just so different.
I like the body language of all four players.
Oh, look at that shot! Great hands from Kiro.
Hello and welcome to the 2023-2024 APTA Tour presented by Volley. We are live from the Philly Cricket Club in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, bringing you the Philly Cricket Classic, the Grand Prix event, which is the sixth stop on the 2023-2024 APTA Tour, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors Volley and Fusion, and local sponsors, silver sponsors Falcon, BLBB, MAPTA, bronze sponsors Pond Hockey, Loudenbach Periodontics and Dental Implants, FRS, Rothman Orthopedics, SSH Real Estate, and Total Platform Tennis, as well as partner sponsors Xenon, Philly Yard Bar, Philadelphia Cryotherapy, Neshaminy Creek Brewery. I am Steve Sullivan with Brad Easterbrook bringing you the men's semifinals with Johan Durant and Steve Mitchell, the #1 team in the country and #1 seeds, against upstart Alvi Regalado and Jose Salazar. Brad, welcome to the live stream.
Well, thanks for, this is going to be a great match. And you say the word upstart, which is kind of funny. They've really burst onto the scene. You know, Jose Salazar Martin, last three tournaments, he won the Baltimore Open, won the Sound Shore Open, and semifinalist with a different partner, Guillermo Nunez, in Chicago. So nobody's burst onto the scene like this in recent memory. Even Johan Durant spent a couple of years kind of playing before he started winning some tournaments. So this is as big a burst onto the scene as I've seen anyone do, Steve. And you got to watch them up person and up close in Baltimore. So what do you think of them as a team?
You know, I heard their name before the Baltimore Open started, and somebody kept saying, watch this team, watch this team. They really showed a different level at Sound Shore. They are an unbelievable contrast in style. You know, Jose is going to play in the deuce side, very steady. He's going to sort of play a little more defense, and you're going to see Alvi Regalado with an unbelievable amount of athleticism. He's going to look to blitz. He's going to look to switch sides. He's going to look to, you know, go change of pace and then sort of try to throw the other team off guard. What the general chatter in the hut this morning is they've never seen this level before. They've never seen the Durant Mitchell, you know, steady volleys, maybe the cut spins. So there's probably a mixed view of how this match is going to go.
Right, they've shown incredible poise and certainly not afraid of any moment. If anything, they're, for brand new players, they're almost, they're not arrogant at all, but they're confident, we'll say, right? You know, in their abilities without a doubt. So they're starting off right away here. And, you know,
Jose Salazar Martin serving in the green jacket on the near side, and the ad is Alvi Regalado. And on the far side, we have Steve Mitchell, and Johan Durant is currently in the deuce side, but they're going to switch at some point.
That's a great shot there. And this is what I noticed in, you know, in Chicago when Salazar Martin was playing with Nunez. It was the first time they'd played Ryan McNerney also. And they don't know how to adjust their strategy yet to what the opponents can do. So they're going to have to feel that out. And as you said, they haven't seen this level of like offensive volleys right on top of the net. So we'll see how they react. You know, the move that Alvi Regalado made at the time before where he rushed in, he's going to have to do it. He can do it, but he's got to do it at the right time and really pick his moments. Here's going to be the biggest thing. It's really sunny out there, but it's a side sun. I don't feel like it's going to play a big role. There were some moments yesterday in the tournament. So that's a good move up the wire. He did it before, but he got burned.
So the one takeaway from Baltimore, not only their tennis skills and the ability to bring offense, but you know, I think it was the same with Guillermo Nunez in Chicago. Their patience and their almost mature strategy of how to play the game seems to have come really, really fast. But this will be a different level.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, Steve. It's, they are one of the things I did notice about them early on, and especially Salazar, actually, because Regalado was not in Chicago, was just how poised he was. He's just sitting there chewing gum, playing a match in the semifinals, you know, against new guys and expecting to win, and he's calm about his entire thing. He's intense, calm, and he has a very mature view. He understands that he's going to play in the backcourt, make his shots, and try to set up his partner. And there's a huge inside-out forehand from Regalado. Great shot.
The post-match Baltimore interview, Salazar's comment was, hey, I just sit in the deuce court. I'm going to be steady and let Alvey, you know, take control of the match. And I think they're both going to have to bring a little bit. Nice move there.
Wow, great offense they're showing early and bringing out at the right times. What a terrific volley from Mitchell. Here's the first cut overhead of the day, and it elicits a winner. So, you know, that's going to be the one thing that you were talking about earlier too, Steve. Can they handle the spin when they bring it out? That's the first time they brought out the spin. So break point here for Randt and Mitchell. This is the return. Good challenging serve. Yeah, there's two areas that when you never played Randt before, you have to watch out. You cannot hit, you have to make sure you hit drives at him or behind him. You can't hit off-pace drives because he just drop shots you for winners or cuts them for winners. You have to take some shots that you may use at a different time and just put them in your, put them away. That was out. Yeah, great play there. He stands in, cuts it off, and gets out of the way wisely. Randt, I think, tried to tag him there. You know, it's funny, he said, just stay in the deuce court and be calm. And there we go, first a hold there for Regalado and Salazar. Great job, finding out one break point. And he said the exact same thing in Chicago. I'm just going to stand on the deuce court, be patient, and his partner at that time was Guillermo Nunez. And just let Nunez, you know, blitz and attack the net. So he has a mindset of what he's doing out there. It's not that he doesn't bring offense. He can hit the backhand and the forehand. But his job is to be steady. And he's playing with, you know, players who are sort of dynamic in the ad court. And that's a great partnership, but it's also incredible that he understands exactly what he's looking to do right away. You know, a lot of players take years to figure out what they're trying to look for.
So this will be interesting. Regalado and Salazar both have classic tennis overhand serves, and Randt Mitchell, the sort of heavy brush underhand is going to be their probably starting serve. It will be interesting to see how the returning game of Regalado and Salazar look to attack, look to start the point. They have the ground stroke, so we're going to get a view here right in a second with Steve Mitchell up to serve.
I expect Regalado in the ad court to actually go after this one, and Salazar as well. We'll see. Salazar is probably a little more measured with how he plays his offense anyway. You know, and at times, I wouldn't call it a weakness per se. It's hard to say they have a weakness, but Mitchell and Randt can have issues with their serve, faulting a little bit and struggling. This is like the one area of the game where they show some sort of, it's not a weakness, but an inconsistency here and there. Now he's starting to work on Alvarado, and that's going to be a low cutter there. Great block. Wow, that quickness up. You know, it's the other
what
side
a
of the
dig by Randt.
Yeah, great dig. The other side of the coin is Randt and Mitchell have never seen these guys, right? So that type of quickness, maybe Randt didn't expect that, right? But
Oh, I think it caught a piece.
so 15 love. And we just mentioned umpire Tim McAvoy again in the chair. Great treat to have him out here, chatting with him last night. And he's such a positive, terrific guy, and just a legend in the community. Great cover of that spin overhead. Good look there for Salazar. Just couldn't come down. Ooh. Some heat on that Regalado forehand.
Absolutely. And, you know, Johan just put his paddle up and didn't try to do anything with it and sent it back with as much power. All right, 1-all.
Yeah, just a couple of missed backhands there. Decent looks. Last one was a little quick. Oh, that's just a beauty. And we always talk about the Randt cutter, and, you know, Mitchell's got those shots as well. He had tremendous backhand slice cutter yesterday, inside-out roller. He actually has all the shots. His role just is to do less of them, but 2 huge shots right away against him in this game.
Vale.
Nice volley from Mitchell. Cut. So things that, when you watch the players out here today and watching their spin overheads, you'll notice that when they're getting to move to their right, it's a perfect opportunity for them to cut around the outside of the ball. When they have to move to their left, it's a better opportunity to hit rollers and things. It's harder to actually cut it.
And there's the really aggressive cut backhand volley from Randt. This is the one, you know, in the first 3 games, this is the one sort of consistent theme of, you know, even the ones that Salazar has gotten back, he's been really caught off guard by the Randt cutter.
All right, so that's a first break of the match, and just 3 or 4 terrific shots from Randt. You see the spin and the ability, that quick ability to close. And I talked about it a little bit earlier, the shot that, you know, Regalado used there, which was an off-pace drive. You really have to put that away. Don't use that shot, because he sees it, comes in a half second, and then he's hitting an offensive shot. You're in worse shape. So that whole dink and blitz idea, put it away when you're playing against Randt. And that just takes experience.
Bit of a flurry of unforced errors from Regalado and Salazar. Let's see if they can settle themselves.
Got a piece of the net there. Ball ricocheted off the top of the paddle. Great shot. Oh, such a good volley. That's a really good move from Regalado. Ooh. He's got to go outside, play that with his backhand. He got trapped in there. The spin ate him up in the side.
Very patient point.
Yep.
Both teams, I think they started fast, and now they're trying to feel each other out a little bit. And at this level, Brad, this is not typical that you have a first-time match, right? Two teams have never really seen each other.
I would say for me, it's one of the first times I've ever seen it. But then again, they burst on the scene, like I said, faster and quicker than anyone else in recent memory. You know, I've seen lots of players who I knew were going to be great players, but it still takes a few years, right? Usually. To find your partner and find, you know, guys that you can play with and play with this maturity level. And, you know, it was, I'm sure, in the making other ways, but it also just goes to a really good, strong mental and technical ability. That's a couple of huge shots there. And they get a break point right back.
And Durant's quickly gone back to the overhead serve. He had his first fault and sort of abandoned it like he did yesterday.
Yeah, to me, this is the one area where they actually are not the strongest in the serving area. Their volleys are amazing, everything else, they're coming up, but they do tend to fault a lot for, you know, the best team in the country. And you know, they're just, their volleys are so phenomenal, and their ability to win points. So the way it sort of covers it. His move to the left off to that side wire screen is really strong. Regalado just sort of glides up that wire a little bit, and he slaps that forehand. I haven't seen him hit a backhand yet. When you were watching him play in Baltimore, does he hit the backhand?
Not many. He loves that classic sort of creep in surprise attack, so he doesn't leave himself a backhand too often on the outside.
Oh, we gave him the off-pace drive there. You know, he's looking for that ball that's coming in hard and hot, and he kind of got stuck playing a forehand volley. It didn't look that difficult, but so quickly right back. They get a break point, but then 3 quick ones. 3-1 to Randt Mitchell.
Little bit of strategy. You can see, I don't know if they're caught off guard. They're a little bit confused of how to take this match, but Jose Salazar to serve, down 1-3.
You know, they've just made a couple of mistakes on a couple of drives they've hit, and at certain spots it's gone a little fast. I mean, it's still right in the balance here. That's, you know, and they're still filling out what, you know, the blitzing ability on the last point, great return, volley up, classic play. They're going to have to serve and stay back. Most teams serve and stay back, which is what he's doing now, right? You know, against Randt Mitchell, at least half the time, you know, they'll serve and stay back. And they're actually trying to take the net a little bit more than most teams do, and you pay the price with the blitzes and the great returns that they hit. And this is sort of the age-old problem. When you try to serve and volley, you run the risk of, you know, them blitzing, you just winning the point outright. But if you spend the entire time in a match in the backcourt against Randt Mitchell, they just start carving you up with overheads, you know, and it becomes a problem. So it's sort of a, what do they call it, a Hobson's choice or whatever. It's a tough choice either way.
Yeah, we saw that in the quarterfinals yesterday against Dennis and Friedrich. Johan just sort of controlled, sort of in this setup, had his forehand in the middle, took his time, and then when he started putting spin on the ball, it just absolutely confused both Dennis and Friedrich. And I think there's already been a few points this match so far that, you know, Regalado and Salazar have sort of moved one way and the ball moved a different way. So they're going to have to figure it out.
That's such a good move, but that volley, wow. I mean, he is sliding in there. What a great forehand on Regalado.
Pulling him up, pushing him back. And
he had that set up. They've had a couple of decent looks, just missing a few of them.
I mean, Mitchell had moved off the net, so I think he saw the opening, tried a little bit of off pace, and just put it in the net.
Yeah, at this point, like, they're still filling out the strategies they want to use, whether they're serving and coming in. Can't say they're taking bad drives. They're just missing too many drives,
Yeah.
you know. You know, they're just missing too many at this point. I think they've missed like 6 or 7 drives so far in the first 4 games. We just had a tag team on the producers. Mark Ennis in here at the booth. He's working his magic. It's like just a guest appearance by a famous DJ. You get Mark Ennis in the booth here.
I'm impressed.
No, you should be honored.
All right, big 30-all point.
That's a huge forehand. The pace too much for Mitchell there. All right. Game point for Regalado and Salazar. I think this is kind of like the same boat that we were in the other day where they got to keep it close. Nah, it's just
What a cut.
heavy spin. And he actually knew it was coming back. But it went back, and not just straight back, but it went back into the right because he hit a little on the inside of the ball, and that threw him off at the end. They're doing a good job transitioning back now. I think they need to stay close, right? You never want to get that separation. The only thing, like, Durant and Mitchell are sometimes nice about is they do throw in some games here and there where they miss a few balls or miss a cutter, or it almost seems like they lose a little focus because they're ahead.
Yeah, they went through a patch in the second set yesterday where they, 6 out of 7 points, just sort of loose shots, a few unforced errors, and, today they don't have a weakness. So it's really, if they're in it mentally, if they sort of stay in the match point by point, they're going to already showing they're going to be a little too much for these guys to handle, but it is early. This is a game of momentum, so this is just the first dynamic. A quick nutmeg there. Regalado squeezed it through.
Well done. Yeah, I like Salazar's challenging with his serve, so anytime it's been that break point, he's done a good job putting a tough serve in there. It's not an easy return. So a couple of break points they've fought off in this game. I think they definitely need this one to keep it close. And there's just the heavy work. If you don't lob well, you can't get that lob down the line. And even if it's just a little inside the line, by down the line, I mean in the alley, right? Even if it's a little inside the line, Durant's coming over and cutting it. So there's the break, 4-1.
Volley is a proud sponsor of the APTA. As the first AI-enabled training experience, Volley modernizes racket sports by delivering the on-demand dynamic system for live play training and better workouts. Volley creates a community to connect pros and players while giving users personalized performance insights to track progress and customize their practice. Ask your pro about a volley lesson today, and for more information, visit getvolley.com. All right, we have Steve Mitchell up to serve. Quick 4-1 lead. Regalado and Salazar look a little bit confused. They're playing a fine match. They're making a few too many unforced errors, but there's not a weakness that they've found with Durant and Mitchell, the number one team in the country.
Well, they volley so well, Durant and Mitchell's like a big part of it. He's a terrific position spot volleyer, and Durant closes the net. So I would think already in these 5 games that we've played, Regalado's like, they've already made 10 volleys that maybe none of our other opponents have made, right? He's hitting these big bombs, they're making it back. So it's not one shot. You got to take 6 shots and make them, right? So and that's why it's in there. He goes to a second drive, but he's on top of the net and he's in worse shape than he started. See, and then that's just a tough ball. Now he's forcing and pressing, but this is where the problem is. I understand why he did, because if you start throwing up lobs, then they start carving you up with the overheads. So guys who are great tennis players, and Salazar, Martin, and Regalado are very, very good tennis players. Sometimes the go-to spot is, okay, I can't beat him in paddle. Let me try to beat him, turn this into more of a tennis match. I've never seen that work against these guys. I think he bounced that one out. So point there for Regalado, Salazar. But in some matches, if you can't play somebody in tennis, they're like, in paddle, like, lobs to overheads, and the overheads are do good. Well, they're going to try to drive more.
Yeah, the classic tennis strategy is you want to push and you want to sort of press, and that's the wrong thing to do, right? You got to find your way and pick your spots. It's a completely different mindset.
All right, so 40-30. Oh, that's a big return, a beautiful spot there. And again, a lot of these things come from, and that's right back to deuce. And this is where it goes, the quick fault, and then great return there. That was a perfect spot from Regalado. Oh, he's just working him. Way to go.
Regalado is on the move, on his heels.
Just scrambling so well. You can win points against Durant and Mitchell by scrambling. The problem is it's how many you can win, right? Like if you dig back one more ball. Even Durant and Mitchell are going to miss these cutter overheads eventually. There's such a fine contact window in them. But he doesn't that time, and he burns them. They're just doing a great job pressuring them when they're at the net. I would actually think, though, one of the things Durant and Mitchell really appreciate out here is these guys are playing a style that really does suit them. It's all fast, right? Hard, big drives. It's not like they're lobbing 20 balls in a row. And when they've tried to lob, they're not lobbing well enough or staying in it long enough. They're getting carved up on the overheads.
Just that last point. I mean, didn't quite make it to the second screen, and Salazar and the deuce courts have been a little bit confused of how to play that ball.
Oh, look at that. Mitchell tags him. And
Johan
tags him. He comes all the way across the court. And, just bam. That record would probably never be broken. How many times Johan has hit somebody with the ball.
Well, there's smiles out on the court. I think the new team's appreciating it because it's almost their style as well. They're not afraid to hit the ball where it should be hit, and sometimes that's at the body. The return game so far from Randt and Mitchell is just something that, Regalado and Salazar can't find a way in the service game to generate, an offensive position on the court.
Yeah, and then
there's that.
When they're in the backcourt, this is what's happening here. Just carving them up. And this is, Randt and Mitchell have this gear, right? The next level. They actually have the gear that I've never seen anyone else have. They achieve it, and they've achieved it in other ways. And they showed it in weird, like yesterday's match in the quarterfinal was strange because they hit. How many cut winners did they hit yesterday? Steve?
15, 16.
I would say even more, maybe. I think it might have been up in the 20s. Almost a full set's worth of just cut winners, which is an absurd amount. And but at the same time, they did make also 17 errors, right? And gave up these, odd points in games where they lost at love in 2 seconds. Look at these hands.
It's just a little too much power. So Randt, 2 steps is back to recover that ball.
But this is a match that is perfect because they're loving this, Randt and Mitchell, like this speed of play. No one usually plays them faster because they realize it's really not a winning proposition. So people always try to slow them down. But Regalado and Salazar, they're just coming after them.
All right, there's the first set. We'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here in the APTA YouTube channel presented by My Paddle. Welcome back to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Philly Cricket Club bringing you the Philly Cricket Grand Prix. And this is our semifinal match. They're taking a little bit of break here. Johan Randt and Steve Mitchell, quick 6-1 set against the upstart Regalado and Salazar. Brad, what'd you see?
It was a highly entertaining set. It wasn't really a smart tactical match from Regalado and Salazar. They're playing them straight up. They're whacking as many drives as they are. They're trying to serve and volley. Most people try to stay back, hit really good lobs, and get Randt and Mitchell to make a few errors, right? But anytime they've come in, Randt and Mitchell have been just dominating the net. So until they're, without their ability to handle this kind of spin and see it again, and also they're taking their drives and making those shots too. They're just playing at a pace that's not going to be conducive to them. But when they've tried to slow it down at all, which I haven't really seen yet, they were getting carved up with the overhead. So tough choice for them. I think this right now is a learning experience. They're just going to come back, though. I have no doubt that these guys are still in it and trying to figure out how to win this one. They tried a couple different things. It seemed like at one time they're like, well, let's bash a bunch of balls at them, right? Another time they tried to play kind of steady and slow. None of it's worked so far. Yeah,
they've gone 20 shots into the point. They've probably in most of their previous tournaments and matches haven't had to go 50 shots into the point. Their offense is so strong and unpredictable that most teams, that's where they've been able to find some vulnerabilities. There's no weakness on the volleys from Randt and Mitchell, so there's really no place for them to go. And when they get that 17th shot they think should end the point, it comes right back at them, and they're back to ground zero. So I think mentally, they're just going to have to figure out how to play against this type of team.
or what you do is you hope for a lull from Randt and Mitchell, and then you capitalize when it comes. We just haven't seen it yet. They've missed maybe one volley, and that's off some great drives from Regalado and Salazar. You know, and basically 0 cut overheads. They haven't missed any, and you know, when that happens, I've seen this before. Like where really good teams, go down 1-1 right away to Randt Mitchell because they're firing on all cylinders. I remember Graham McNerney, who's one of our other semifinalists, just comes off the court and he goes, "Yeah, I don't know." I don't know what to tell you. Like he had no chance.
Yeah,
like, and he's right here in the semifinals in one of the top 3 teams in the country right now. So it happens.
That first point, they started slow. They tried an off-pace ball, and Johan hit an absolute dead kill. He
missed that one. So this is the hope, right? He finally misses one. So now maybe he's going to miss another. Now you start to build. Creep in there when you can. The problem is you're never in control. It's whether he's making the shots or not.
And then another underhand miss serve, and let's see. Looks like he's setting up for the overhand. Yep. Back to it.
Stays back. Mitchell sees that he's going to play low. Oh, he missed.
He misjudged it.
Yeah, I think he thought that was floating out, and that was a good 3 feet in. Wow, 15-40 break points here. See, and this is where it starts from. The fault and the missed cut, right? This is how you get your games. Now they got to build here, and they could easily win the set. I would not surprise me if Salazar and Regalado were able to win the set like 6-3 or 6-2 or something like that if they start missing balls. If they're going to keep doing that.
Unreturnable.
Right. If they're going to keep hitting these unreturnable shots, it's going to be over quick. But still one more break point here. That's a big serve. That was not smart.
Mitchell just sort of hit the classic up and down in the wrong spot. So is this a change of strategy here? That they don't like the Johan cut, so they're 3 balls in a row to Mitchell, but it's tough to avoid it, right? If Randt sets up the right way, it's another ball. You just can't control it off the paddle.
He's spinning it off the paddle. He could let it go. It would go straight to Regalado. Yeah, it's just the extra spin, and it is still relatively warm out there and sunny. That ball's going to react to the court. That was a little long. All right, another break point. Got a shot here. And in my view on these things is when you have these opportunities, you must take them, when you're playing Randt and Mitchell. What's funny is sometimes they give them to you, right? Like he might miss this cutter, he might not, but gotta take your breaks.
So they are clearly trying to find a different position for their lobs and even off-speed ground strokes. The Randt cut, I think it generated probably the most errors in the first set, and clearly they're trying to change the strategy.
If you can get Randt moving to his, away from the cut, you have a chance. And right now they're having the ability to play patient because that's like the first or second ball he's able to cut, so they're lobbing better. And this is what it means to survive in the point here against Randt Mitchell. You got to lob better, place your lobs better. As soon as that short one comes, though, you're gonna watch out. But now he's making them play balls. And every time it continues on, the shot clock kind of winds out. You might want to force it.
Oh. 2 great backhands, but the volleying of Randt Mitchell just didn't really faze him.
This is an absolutely perfect point, though, from Salazar and Regalado. This is what you want to do. The longer you can make Randt Mitchell play, the higher your percentages go up of winning a point. That is an insane point from Regalado and Salazar, and they get the break. Good for them.
So here's one of these sort of giveaway shots that we saw in that first game. You know, there was a fault by Johan, and then he just sort of misjudged it. You're right, 3 feet inside the baseline.
Yeah. Yeah, so, so that game included that miss, which is probably not going to happen again. You know, that's just a misjudgment call by Mitchell, right? He clearly let it go. It's not like it went by him, right? A fault, right? And one missed cutter.
Yeah.
Right, and they were able to get the break at an ad-out, you know, like with 2 or 3 ad-outs, right? So, but that's what it. Sometimes you just have to capitalize when those things happen. See, that's the dink. I don't love that shot at all. It works against other people, but great job there with the lob. Really well placed.
Quick pace, Salazar steps right back up to the line. And another loose volley.
That's a good slap shot forehand there from Salazar. He actually caught Mitchell off guard, and it created a little seam. So Regalado Salazar with a lead. I think they won the first game of the first set, though, right?
They
so
did.
They're up 1-love there. So both sets up 1-love. Let's see what can actually get a little separation here. But that last game they played, and that last point, that was perfect, right? They have to just do that another, you know, 30 times, right? Another 30 times, right? You know, perfect point.
That's the one that they just can't pick it up. And, you know, the first 2 that Salazar missed, I think he missed them right, and now he's overcompensating to the left, but he's just going to have to find his feel on that shot.
Yeah, I expect they're going to get a little better as time goes on. The one thing that you can almost see it in, you know, Salazar and Regalado, they're taking information in, right? You know, as it goes along. I don't think these guys disappear. And there's the classic hit through or behind Randt as opposed to away from him with a 3/4 pace drive because he anticipates it as the drop winner. See, and it's kind of antithetical when you play Randt. You know, everybody gets taught, right, to hit to the open space. You know, this guy's off the net, hit at that guy. Well, when Durant's on the net, hit at him. You could even go a little higher up into him some of the time because he's always looking to make a move. Great hands there.
Yeah, his anticipation, I mean, he's 2 steps towards the next shot before they've even made contact on the other side. So I think you're right. This was one of the things that Friedrich was trying to do is, you know, not lead. Oh, that was the one he wanted.
All right, break point now.
Break point from a 40-love start in this game.
Vale.
Good deep overhead. Randt will miss everybody will miss some of those from back behind the baseline. That's a good overhead. Put him in a position to miss. He did. But you can see now Salazar is committed to staying back. He's not forcing coming in. On the outside, he might try it more. It's a little more challenging serve over there. You know, Mitchell's got a thunderous return as well. Missed that deep lob. So they're lobbing better, making these guys work more, Randt and Mitchell.
Tuya. Tuya. Tuya, José, tuya. Vale.
Great transition ball from Randt. And again, like all the shots, and you brought this up yesterday, he hits a setup and he can hit. He holds his shot so long, he sort of slaps it one direction. He could lay that right down the line. So he makes you sort of hold your position for a long period of time, and it's very tough. Oh, that's a blistering ball through the middle.
Tuya. Tuya. Tuya.
Right there, that one ball is one of the differences between the teams. Like Randt and Mitchell are going to hit that for a cut and maybe finish the point. Those guys are laying it back. I've not seen a cut finisher from Regalado and Salazar. Now, they haven't been in the net that much.
They haven't been in the net. They have the shot, but the reality is it's not part of their normal routine. For Randt, it's
like
a
breathing.
Part, yeah,
right?
it's like breathing. It's a part he's going to bring it in, you know, once a game. It's almost like it's a trick shot from the other two that they haven't figured out how to incorporate into a regular part of their routine.
Yeah, it's not a trick shot. It's the ultimate offensive shot, right? And in a match that's dead even, if one guy has a cut finisher and you don't, well, it's not that even, right? You know, the other team's going to generally win that match because they're going to finish some points. Roller. He's got a tricky roller there, too. Great shot.
And it moves sideways as well as back. Yep.
Yeah, he lays his wrist down, and then he comes across it up and to the left, which actually puts a side spin as well. We saw him do to, I think it was Friedrich yesterday, where he completely held it, laid his wrist back, and placed it right behind him. And I swear Friedrich thought it was going to the middle. All right, tags him again. That's 2 plugs now.
The forehand from Randt has such a short, compact takeaway, and he makes contact about 2 feet in front of his body. There's almost no way that Alvey can see that ball coming, and clearly, he had to turn around to not get hit straight in the chest.
Yeah, what's unique about that, too, is sometimes you're thinking, I'm going to help my partner get a return, so you might be leaning to help out in that middle spot. And when he hits it, it's instantly on you. And if you're not with your paddle right there behind the ball, getting hit is a very real possibility. Missed that one, but they're questioning it. All right. So that's a break point save. So this is a huge game here. Yeah, I think they just have to keep it close. I mean, this is actually one for separation for after getting the break. If they could consolidate a break here, what a difference that would make. At least they have something to work with now instead of playing catch-up all the time, you know. That's a great placement on that lob there from Regalado. All right, another game point. Good look there from Mitchell. He read it. Trying to play an offensive volley. That was out, so good hold there from Regalado and Salazar.
That was a hard-fought game.
Routine hold, right? Routine hold. Face a couple break points, a couple of game points. Yeah, but they earned those errors from those guys. I mean, it was a tough little dink. He made them try to hit the attacking volley, and they missed it. It was actually 2 attacking volleys they missed at the end. That's what closed it out for Regalado and Alvarado and Salazar. And that's what I mean by you're not really in control. You're playing the shots, but they're going for the shots. They just happen to miss those. They've made them before. We have something here in the second set.
Great stick volley in the first point. Steve Mitchell just sort of laid it into the corner, and the one sort of vulnerability with Salazar Regalado is sort of that off-pace, volley that's, catching Jose a little bit off guard.
Waterfall with a switch at the net. He loves that backhand in the middle. He's starting to hone in on that a little bit, Salazar. Oh, tough low one. Again, he sees the space and he's going for that one shot. And he's a great player with offense. The wiser play might be to just flip up the lob and go back.
Get back in the point.
Because I think that had he made it, I have the feeling that Randt was coming across and slapping it down at his feet anyway. He's getting good with the down-the-line lob. Starting to place the ball better. They're lobbing much better than they did in the first set. Settled down more. Ah,
Not the one, not the shot.
yeah, he went for the slap shot forehand, backhand there. 40-15.
不要，不要，
Great anticipation again and leads to the error. So they're so good at closing off that net. It's just a perfect job. And then they cover each other. The guy's crossing in, the other guy's covers the lob.
We're going to take another look at that. But yeah, there's no weakness at the net.
Well, it's different too because so they played in the quarterfinals before. They just played Ossis, Koenig, and Humphreys, which is a great team. But they don't have that type of volley closing ability like that, where they're playing offensive volleys as much coming in and hitting the ball down. It's just a different level that they're playing against right now, and they're doing much better in the second set. They're controlling their lobs more. They're starting to play that point. They just got to keep doing it and start to recognize certain plays. Do I think that was a bad drive from Regalado and Salazar? Not so much, but it's one of these things where you would do that like normally. I'm just going to hit this drive. But against those guys, you have to almost one more lob, one more good lob, one more good lob. And then finally it's like you have to body punch them 17 times.
Yeah.
If you take it earlier in the point, it actually doesn't help you. That's just faster play. You want to do it later in the point. 50 jabs later, then stick them. Wow. That was smart.
Nice off pace. First one was huge, and then he just sort of took his position up to the net.
He did a great job recognizing that Mitchell was bailing. So smartly took the pace off of it.
回家。
It's a first cut overhead from these guys, and very effective. Good.
回家。回家。回家。回家。
Caught Johan taking a step the other way, but came back far off the screen, and
Ooh,
there's a great move by Regalado to just stay on top of that net. And
that was great. They're really working these points, and this is a lot of back and forth, and well done by Regalado and Salazar at the net. Great coverage there. They took 4 or 5 good shots.
I think the intensity is heating up a little bit, but can't afford too many unforced errors here.
Right.
This is a big game.
Yeah, I think they all are at this point. They just have to keep playing. They've settled in. It's such a different set from the first set. The first set was like a blitzkrieg, right? You know, the old German, they come in, all the offense, you take everything, just blow everything out of the water. That was the first set. Now they're a little settled. They've seen a little bit more. They're starting to lob a little better. They're still playing their game. They're still playing an offensive game. But it's in more of a manageable spot, and they're definitely lobbing better than they used to. All right, 2 break points here.
2 faults in a row by Regalado, and Steve Mitchell just really brought some offense in the last point. And
That shot there is an example of what they cannot do, right? They built this point and started playing better by, like that one point we saw before when they got the break, and I was like, they made 30 great lobs. They got to do that 30 more times. Not that, right? That's not where they're going to do better.
all right, so the break back 2-all.
Great type of point. This is what they want. This is the best type of pace for Regalado and Salazar. That's a great shot. But that's what I said, 40 body shots first, right? And then take your offense. And it was just a beautiful ball. It's kind of a little flipper backhand.
It's a flick. It's not the backhand we were talking about before, that offensive, traditional two-handed swinging backhand. It was just sort of a, flip of the wrist and caught Johan a couple feet off the net. But to your point, Brad, he waited 30 shots in to execute that shot.
Yeah, you don't want to play strike, strike, strike against, 1, 2, 3. You got to little jabs, 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 and then you can take your shot, right? And you want the pace of the game to work better for you. That's a great shot. Staying in the point longer. The longer you make them stay, the more chances you get them to miss. That's really how it works, against Randt and Mitchell.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know how he found a spot on that side of the court. He hit on the other side of Mitchell.
Good bail. Way to transition back from Salazar and Regalado. Oh.
He caught me off guard. I didn't even see where the ball went. I don't know if he whiffed it or if it just...
I think he whiffed it. He was playing it the right way. He was turning around on it, but nice shot there. The threat of the blitz there. That time he got him with the dink and blitz, and they were not ready for the close-in. Good job there. All right, couple of break points back here for... Ooh. All right, they really... To me, they're all crucial at this point. Smart return there, doesn't challenge the tough serve, keeps it in play. Let's play that same point that we have. 30, 40 balls. When you get your shot, take it. That's a lot better, though. Ooh.
That was a miscommunication, but it was really Mitchell's ball, and he stuck it, not even prepared to hit that shot. All right, patience to get back to the net.
Yeah, the first couple of balls in there, they didn't have control of their lobs, and they set it up beautifully there. Doing such a good job. That's a tough ball.
Oh, what a dig.
That is a great point from Salazar and Regalado. And they did an amazing job lobbing across the court and back and pushing Mitchell back. Once they pushed him back, there was 2 times in that point they had that.
Yeah, here's the dig. Unbelievable. Just put his racket on the ball.
And then he gets Johan doing his move, but that time too good for him.
In collaboration with the APTA, Fusion is at the forefront of personalized gear and apparel. Backed by a team of seasoned industry experts, we provide exclusive access to high-end products from top-tier retail brands, all poised for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate branding. Our streamlined approach guarantees a hassle-free shopping experience complemented by custom online storefronts and swift ordering. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion seamlessly weave your branding into elite merchandise.
Yeah, that was a great game, and kudos to them for breaking right back. This is the poise that we talked about with these guys. You can tell they're learning and seeing the spots there. They lob beautifully in that point, much better. This is the lob right here that's making all the difference in the world. Pushing Mitchell back there. This right here. Now Mitchell's off the net, and that's where their openings are coming from. You got to see that spot and keep doing it. Now they're finally getting the net some.
Yeah.
That's a mistake there. He's getting too close. He's got to take that ball earlier before Mitchell has a chance to get really tight.
Yeah, Salazar got stuck, but he was right. That's the forehand from Regalado. Regalado loves that opportunistic net play, but really that's his forehand. He left a tough shot for Salazar.
Oh, nice dig there. That's such a good play right into the crease. They played it well. It just came out hot. Tough to handle.
Good move. Poached by Regalado, just caught Steve Mitchell trying to creep in himself.
Puede. Tuya. Tuya, José. Tuya.
I tell you, Regalado Salazar, incredible difference.
Vale. Tuya.
They're starting to actually control some points, earn some points. Not just the gifts you get sometimes from Durant Mitchell, but lobbing it well to the right spot of the court, getting Mitchell off, and then creating the open seam. Now they're actually getting some net play for the first time.
Vale. Tuya. Tuya, tuya, tuya.
That one, Salazar was a
Tuya.
step behind it. There's really good communication, but they're not naturally, set up to play all the right shots. Regalado's so opportunistic, he's almost, creating a little bit of, doubt for Salazar on which of those down the middle balls he should take.
Yeah, they're still, despite winning Sound Shore, winning Baltimore, right, still a pretty new team. I think they played once together last year. Oh, that's beauty. Look at that. And turnabout. Now, the master at doing that, of course, is Randt, and he has that turned right around on him.
Really tricky he's moving cross court to sort of lay that inside out backhand cutter. And he just steps in.
He read it, though.
Yeah, he read it.
He was on top of Durant. He saw Durant doing to the little push thing. And the dink and blitz only works when you have them thinking about being off the net a little bit. All right, now they're working some of the same strategies right back on him.
Big hold. Big hold.
Impressive stuff from Regalado and Salazar. And we've moved into the zone where they're playing the shots they need to play to give themselves a good chance. Blitz on that one, doesn't get the return down. It's calculated risk whenever you run a blitz play like that, but if you don't get the return at the feet and the guy gets the volleyed above your net, you're in much worse shape than it started. You're better off not doing it. Oh, great.
What a get. It wasn't a perfect cutter but from Johan, but it was, it was a 9 out of 10 cutter in Salazar. I don't know how he tracked it down.
And there was that great down the line lob again. That time, though, he actually caught Mitchell. I think Mitchell thought he was driving it and was looking to close in and hit an offensive volley. And he snuck up that down the line lob. They usually track it down, but they're getting the net again. And it's starting with that really good down the line lob pushing Mitchell off the net.
See, this is the tricky one where Salazar is going back, almost, tracking over his, backhand side ahead and overhead. This is where Regalado should really be dictating with his forehand in the middle. And that's a good lob.
Vale.
Good. These guys are starting to learn how to close it up and in. Did that go over?
Did not.
No, okay. So it's lost in the shadows there. Couldn't tell what happened. All right, 30-15. All these teams become, when they play together for a few years, so seamless in how they move at the net. Cross, switch, right? Allow your partner the ability to cut in front. The other guy covers behind.
Unreal.
That's just great stuff. Well, the problem is, Regalado is covering behind, Salazar, but he takes an offensive shot. And once once that ball gets volleyed back, they're both out of position.
Yeah, there's no
now.
time.
Right. So that again is another calculated risk that he's probably better off lobbing, but I understand why he spiked it. It was above him. So, I might have taken the same shot and also lost. There you go.
So brings Salazar in, goes right back at
So
him.
he
brings
takes a
him.
spike here,
Yeah.
though. That's the issue. So now they're both out of position, and it's done.
I mean, they were glued. They went left. They went right. They, and Johan had his pick of shots there.
Yeah, but but Regalado had the choice to let that go to the screen or
Yeah.
just hit a lob, right? Either one of those things gives them more time, right? When you take the ball on the spike there, you better win the point there. When you don't, you're out of position. That's the risk he's taken. And against a volleying team that well, that's sort of it just goes back to the overall base strategy. I understand why you take it. I don't even fault him that much for it. He might have won the point with a perfect shot, right? But your overall base strategy has to become longer than the exact ball, where more that where you have a better opportunity. That one's more like, I hope he doesn't make this volley,
Okay, up a break, 4-3. Alvi Regalado serving in the blue shirt.
Stock just can't handle the pace. And I think he was looking to the middle there, so really good inside-out forehand. First missed returns from Randt in a while. He's been rolling on that.
Yeah.
Switching the backcourt. These guys are starting to get the net. It's completely changed the tenor of this match.
Just work the point, work Johan, hit him enough shots that Johan tried a little bit extra.
Oh, he was letting it go, and he couldn't get his paddle out of the way quick enough. He was just going to transition back.
Yeah, Mitchell ripped the forehand.
Great job.
Yeah, big hold.
Well, Regalado and Salazar are now giving them the opportunity to miss by upping their level of play and lobbing so much better. They've just turned this match completely around. And every moment they've had, there were a couple of close ones early, they've responded now, which is
Yeah, they're making
just
more of their
incredible.
offensive attempts, and they've limited the unforced errors. And very quickly, they're up 5-3.
And you can see, like in the first set, how many cut winners did Randt and Mitchell have?
Yeah, a handful. I mean,
a lot,
yeah,
right?
a lot.
How many have they had recently?
Yeah, I think there's been one in this set.
I mean, there was one right there. But the point is, those things are drying up because they're lobbing better and their tactics have improved and the way they're playing their shots and using the screens, it's all different. And it's also dried up a little because they're at the net a little bit themselves, right? They're not always in the backcourt, so they're starting to learn how to serve volley, and they're just lobbing that much better. Yeah, he knows Albert. You could see Regalado just like fist to his head there. He took a kind of a slap shot from way deep in the court. It's great because it's tricky, but it's not makeable very often. There's an uncoordinated switch there. They didn't get a high lob up, not controlling the baseline there. See, these are the
as
little
Salazar's
stuff.
moving right,
Right.
he really needed to be there to cover that nick.
See, now that was the opposite of the game they want to play. Now they've given them some room. They got a chance to serve it out, but that was the exact opposite of what got them to 5-3.
Yep. Yeah, 4 very sort of quick points. They pulled the trigger early. They made a couple unforced errors, and now there's a lot of pressure on them.
Well, they got a game to work with here.
Yep.
I mean, and they're up in the set, and they earned every bit of it. So let's see how the response goes. And it's funny you talk about it like, if I told you right now, and we don't know this thing, and that's out, and I'll even give you that one, that Salazar and Regalado are going to win the set. You taking that or not?
I'm taking it.
Good. All right. I like it. Because I think what we've seen from them is that they've just completely changed the thought process of what they're doing out here. They're starting to see how to control the points better. Smart shot. Oh, missed that one. He was going for such a fine little window there.
Perfection.
Yeah, right on the line.
And they were playing a good point.
All right.
The threat, I think, was more the force of that unforced error than, loose return.
Yeah, but he's done a really good job challenging the Mitchell forehand on that deuce side. His serve to the ad side's got some bite to it. The serve to the deuce is pretty, this is a tough one for him to deal with because Durant's just killing it. But Mitchell's got an awesome return. He's just challenging hard into the body. It's not a simple thing to return that every time.
This is where Johan, if he's inside the service line, he's going to be in control.
Great rip. I thought we were going to see the shortcutter there. But that's the thing. We don't know either because you can't tell what he's going to do. Oh, and he makes a good move. He's just too stretched out.
Hands to the face, and he knows that was the opportunity.
Oh, so close. I mean, it's a calculated risk. These guys are going to keep moving. I think it was a bad move. No, not so much. It was a great play. Just didn't make it. Smart move from Mitchell there. The challenging serve made him realize, big point here. I don't want to miss this return. Smart lob. He didn't try to play cat and mouse with him. Now they're back at the net. That was well done.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, he's seeing when to close. Yeah, Regalado's starting to read his net play better. Like when to move in. Oh, perfect setup. And again with the down the line lob that brings him off the net. And
yeah, it was a great lob. They really set up the shot they wanted.
Didn't execute, but terrific point. Oh.
I think Johan wants some of this action.
Yeah, that was some pretty impressive stuff. I mean, he's taking a shoelace volley and just taking over the net with a shoelace volley. That's ridiculous. That's out.
All right, we get a set point. Yep.
Turned into an incredible match. And this is sort of the poise and the kind of the ability for these guys to be so mature going at this match. The difference between this set and the first.
Night and day.
Absolutely.
This is the match we wanted, but I'm not sure after 5 games we thought we were going to get it. Unreturnable. Love it. Shot of the match. Johan, just the absolute cutter kill.
Yeah, it was terrific. He's got to lob that half volley thing, but maybe he couldn't control it. But this is where the whole thing comes down to. That was a huge play and a huge moment. Set point down. Wow. And just 2 missed overheads are really what's, giving them the break points here. And that's the game and set for Regalado and Salazar. Well played.
Big turnaround. We'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by My Paddle.
Ready for a whole new training experience? Welcome to Volley. At Volley, we've developed the first AI training system for racket sports, providing pros with the advanced teaching tools they've been waiting for, and giving players a new way to level up their game and enhance their time on the court. Ask your pro about a volley lesson today and learn what Volley can do for you. We'll see you on the court.
So what really interested me about the trainer was the endless opportunities with it. I've gone through a couple ball machines in my career before, and this really was a technologically advanced machine that I've never seen before. digging into it a little more in depth, I really found the opportunities to use it in my advantage. All right, ladies, just 1 minute, we'll get started. Always trying to recreate these tennis ball machines into paddleball machines to practice. And this was the first thing on the market that really came out. We have a robust membership here, very active in the paddle community, and I think the volley is going to kind of put us over top as a program. All right, ladies, welcome. All right, today we're going to go over our side back screens. So we've got the volley trainer out here with us today. We'll have 2 on this side hitting. So the cool part about the volley is during lessons when I'm able to use it is I really get a more in-depth connection with my clients. So when I have a lesson out on the court, I can set up the volley to feed a screen, and I don't have to be on the other side of the court kind of yelling to them what they need to change, what they need to do while I'm hitting. I'm really using my, my time with them right next to them to make those changes quicker so they can have more success in the long term. Bridget's on the net, Robin sliding over. We are going to be beat by this cross-court lob a lot. I'm Blake Anderson, Director of Rackets at Fairmont Country Club. Try the volley at your club and you won't regret it.
All right, and welcome back to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Philly Cricket Club, bringing you the Philly Cricket Grand Prix, where we just had our #1 seeds lose the second set to Regalado and Salazar, who made a complete turnaround, Steve, from the first set and played a really competitive set and took it 6-4. They got up a break early, and there were a couple of moments where we thought these are big moments right here, and they held on. They showed grit, toughness, and a complete change in strategy. This was not one of these sets where, yes, they did get like a couple of errors in that last game, just basic overhead errors from Randt and Mitchell, but where Randt and Mitchell threw in like 20 errors. No, Regalado and Salazar made some adjustments. They cut down, they lobbed much better with better position. They cut down on the 15, cutter winner, the handful of cutter winners that they got in the first set, and turned it into a real match.
Yeah, a complete flip-flop. They limited their errors, and they sort of brought the same game, the same offense, but you notice you mentioned their down-the-line lob over the head of Mitchell really sort of set up a number of opportunities. And here they go again, a little bit of trying to get away from the Durant forehand overhead.
Yeah, they did it beautifully, and now they're realizing when to take a strike. As long as they're off the net and not anticipating, they have an opportunity. Those guys have massive offense, Salazar and Regalado, but you got to bring it out the right times. And they're playing much more deliberate points. They still have these moments where they kind of get back into the, playing it fast and quick. But they're doing exactly what they want to do right now, and they've turned this into a terrific match. Going from the first, they got to watch that though. You were talking about that guy to the right's got to stay over to the right, and that should be Regalado's ball. And of course, real quick, that's a great cut finish. He catches actually Durant there. So, love 15.
Yeah, they're so athletic, Regalado and Salazar, but I think as they mature, they're going to really have to figure out how to settle into their positions and limit the athleticism to some extent. It's always, nice to have movement and to sort of be opportunistic, but the reality is that's a lot of movement that's going to create openings at some point for a team like Durant and Mitchell.
Yeah, and I don't think you're talking about limiting athleticism. I think what you're talking about is when they bring it out and how they use it, right?
Use the position.
Yeah. So, because one of their strengths is going to be this athletic ability and their length and all that other jazz. But it's how they're going to be using it, and they've done a great job here. Incredible turnaround from one set to the next. So quickly, just a little rundown again of our players on the court. On the top of the screen to the left, the orange shirt, Jose Salazar and his partner, Aldi Regalado. And in the backcourt here, Steve Mitchell to the right, bottom right of your screen, and his partner, Johan Durant. I'm Brad Easterbrook, along with Steve Sullivan. Men's semifinal action.
We have a beautiful fall day. The weather really turned cold last night, but I think we're probably in the low 40s. Let's take a quick look at the temperature here.
Perfect paddle weather. These guys are
43 degrees.
Yeah, they're seeing the little cuts now too. They're moving up quickly because they have a better management of the point. They're not scrambling anymore, right? They are managing themselves in the backcourt, and they've settled right in. And this is it. This is the formula right here. This is how you play these guys, and a perfect lob there. You have to give them chances to miss, and they might try to force it too early too. They are mastering it right now.
Three quick transitions.
Yeah, but comfortable transitions,
Comfortable,
right?
yeah.
You know, not crazy, running out of, you know, losing control.
Tuya, José.
Oh,
Tuya.
smart lob there. Down the line again. It's a difference maker. Here's going to get, ooh, I thought he was going for a cut there.
We talked about that yesterday. The setup, you know, obviously he's got his shoulder cocked and he's fully rotated, but that was great way to sort of mix it up, keep them off guard, and they got a little bit too aggressive with the lob.
Yeah, I just missed it long. But in terms of what they're playing, perfect point.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they want. And the first set was much more like almost a highlight reel of athleticism, but completely in the wheelhouse. They were just bang, 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 you know, in the wheelhouse of Randt Mitchell. Now it's controlling the pace, controlling the lob, and taking the strike, lob to the right spot, and everything is in a much more manageable place.
Yeah, they're getting 20, 30, 40 shots into the point in the second set, and now this first game, where you're right, the first set had all the, oof, there's the unreturnable cut.
Yeah, that's a good, obviously the difference maker ball. They got to keep lobbing well, and that's a perfect shot.
They got to get that lob back to where it was in the second set. There's really tough to defend those balls.
Yep, absolutely. And imagine now when Regalado and Salazar start adding that type of overhead to their repertoire pretty soon. Those guys they're already right here. You know, I mean, before the season started, they weren't on anybody's radar of talking about them in the Nationals or this or that. And oh, look at that. He held that
may be the shot
backhand.
of the match, the
Wow.
inside out off pace.
Yeah,
Unreal from Alvi Regalado.
he made him look like he knew what he was doing before. And I think he did.
Well,
He
you
did.
said it yesterday that, you know, leading him to the other side of the court is not the play. You really got to keep him, you know, behind him, you know, at him, and I think that's what Alvi did there.
That was a beautiful shot. Slippery. Great spot. What a good volley there for Mitchell. Caught him off the net. That's exactly the play. Caught him off the net, and then the blitz. Exact right time to do it. They bring this to deuce.
Yeah, off speed, and it was about a two-step blitz that Alvi
That's out.
was just
That's out. Break point.
got in their head a little bit. All right. Our first game of the set, break point for Regalado and Salazar.
When you take this game, it's exactly what they're looking for. Oh, what a dig. That's too good. Yeah, too good. He moved the wrong way on that second one, but beautifully played by Mitchell. Knew exactly where to hit those overheads. It's at the deuce. But so in this game, it's a deuce game, and yet this is one of the games where they haven't really made an overhead error, but they've had 3 winning overheads. So this is a perfect game from Regalado and Salazar. Like every other balance of the point, they've made 2 lob errors in this game. You know, they're in it, right, or winning,
Yeah.
right? As long as these guys don't hit a cut winner, if we lob well enough, we're in the point. We've got this match. You know, good chance. Oh, good cover. Smart lob and switch back. Oh, that's just too good.
Seamer, maybe.
Yeah, it was total seam. It was not the spin. And anybody, even the top players in the world, will get burned by that one. That ball should move to his right a little, exactly where Regalado was moving, but instead it actually comes straight back. No shot at that one. Yeah, look at this setup in the backhand here, Steve. Incredible with what Regalado does here. Slippery. Oh, just.
All right, that was a back and forth game. Let's see if we can sort of stay on track here. Jose Salazar Martin serving in the orange shirt on the near side. Currently in the ad court.
Oh, I think he thought Regalado was taking that one.
Yep, miscommunication.
Right, so he's had a complete pattern of serving volleying against Mitchell and staying back. That one he stays back, and wise choice. Mitchell ropes it.
Maybe the right shot, just a bit too early in the point.
Yeah, but this is a little bit of a danger zone. Because what we saw in the first set, you remember in the first set how they were driving and missing like 5-6 drive, but they were taking like ball. I don't want them to get drive happy again. They need to keep it. I'm not telling them not to drive at all. You know that. It's more about how they use it. And they got to use it as knockout punches, not like just drive, just constant. There's the lob that they need right there. Oh, pops that volley out, trying to make it too offensive. Break point.
Yeah, he got himself in the right position. Just maybe did not see that level of power coming and couldn't control it.
Yeah, it's a good position. Like Durant's almost Mitchell's almost shielding the ball with his body, though. It's like one of those things where he's only 7-8 feet away and he's kind of quick, volley. It's very tough to play. Yeah, and it's funny because we're up here and 1-love in the third set, and I think they barely scratched the surface or finished in that first set over there. See if we can get a score on the other semifinal. 6-4, Frazier and Morgan in the first set. Just finished that first set over there against Ryan McNerney, so kudos to them. Great job.
Boy, what an unexpected lob from Durant.
Oh, he just pulled that one. Get his feet underneath him quite there.
All right.
Yeah, 2-0 now for Durant and Mitchell. And as we kind of talked about, that second set, they did such a good job winning that first game, and they were able to play it from a little bit up all the time, and everything got answered. It's no fun playing these guys uphill. Durant and Mitchell.
Well, they're going to, naturally try and press, which is the last thing they should do. But this game, this will be telling sort of how they tackle this game. And a loose.
Well, they're starting to make some errors. They're
Yeah.
creeping in, right? That second set they played was super tight. They made less errors. They didn't just, make the drive. Now it's subtle, but 2 lob errors in the game before. Lob error here. Probably an overplayed drive before. These are things, honestly, they can't afford to do, right? Great lob there. And just a perfect transition ball. Oh, what a track down. High lob, yes. Give yourself time. Well done. Well done.
Smart play. Tell you, Salazar has dug a couple of those cutters from Johan. Probably starting in the second set. The first set he couldn't get a racket on it, but he's done a good job just sort of trying to get back in the point, and Regalado did the right thing to buy him as much time as possible to retreat.
That's going right there. That's well played. That's one of the things they got to keep doing. Nice. 2 good cut overheads. Well played there by Salazar and Regalado. block. Just great positioning there. Oh, great shot. Wow. Got him off the net.
And that's the point you were talking about in the second set, Brad. You have the offense, be selective when you pull it out, and it's better 40 shots in versus the 6 shot in. And Regalado's naturally going to make those moves. He's going to look to blitz. He's going to look to sort of bring his offense. But I think that was a very measured point by Regalado and Salazar. Oh, and another loose lob.
Yeah, he gives it a shout out, and you can't miss those lobs long. I mean, it's kind of the old adage, right? Never drive in the net and never lob long. It's true for a reason. Although these guys, you don't want to hit a short lob against, I'll be honest, because they'll cut and finish it. Big serve there from Randt. See, what's funny is I don't know if he's trying to save energy, but his overhand serve is excellent. I'm not sure why he even uses the underhand serve, because maybe it's a lot less energy intensive to hit the underhand.
Yeah, save the shoulder a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, or maybe it's good just to have the mix.
Because
right?
he's bringing all the shoulder action on the overhead, the slash, the cut, but his overhand serve is just so natural. I think you're right. Here he goes again.
This is the point they want. This is it. Good. Take all they got. Keep lobbing well. Find the one spot. Nice ball. Volley again from Mitchell. Oh, he calls for help, but he doesn't go up the line.
Yeah.
You could hear the help call, and when you call help, you go
Leave
up the
it, right.
line,
Leave
right?
that
And
one.
you left the one in the middle. And
Yeah.
he played it perfectly, but then didn't play it perfectly. That's just an awesome blitz there from Regalado.
Yeah, put in a spot where he gave Mitchell a chance to make an attempt instead of letting it completely go through. Great position for that blitz.
Oh, these guys are playing a great game here. That's out. That's great. Well done.
Yeah,
He tries to drop from 4 feet off the net. The drop is a great play, but you got to be inches from the net there, and you got to see it and close in. That's the idea. A little inexperience there.
But what did?
Ooh, that was kind of a cool camera angle. We got like a flyby.
I think he shanked that into the blue route.
That was a definite shank, and they're going out to get it apparently.
Yeah, here we're going to take another look at it. Regalado, he put himself in the right position, but you're right, Brad.
He's got to be on top of the net if he wants
yeah.
to play the drop. And when you have that guy barely get, oh, that's the one before, sorry. But when you barely have the opponent barely getting it, take a chance and move 1 inch from the net. And then when he's there, then you're an inch and you just, basically drop it straight down. That's the play. In that particular case, he was 3 feet off the net. Not a time for the drop. Even that 3 feet it has to move is more than enough time for Mitchell to get up there easily and actually play an offensive shot. So drop shots
And
got
now,
to be closer.
30 seconds later, point for 3-0, and they're fighting for their life.
Yep. No, they've played a lot of good points. It's almost perfect except a couple of missed lobs, one missed drive, that, little drop shot there. That's it. Everything else they're doing just right. It's kind of a silly thing to say, just don't miss. But it's just a couple little errors or, decision making. But everything else, pretty solid. And that's what these guys are. Regalado and Salazar are completely solid and thoughtful about how they're going about it. And they have length, offense, and, the works and athleticism. The only thing they're really missing at this point is like a cut kill overhead.
Yeah.
Which usually the top teams have some version of that. A beautiful sit up there. Actually, Randt almost fell for that one. He was actually set up over there, and he hit it right there for him. Still in this game.
Aggressive move by Regalado, but he smartly found a way to let that ball through.
He's lucky he didn't get hit,
Yep.
but yeah, but he was, wow.
Third missed lob in this game by Salazar, just pushing it.
He's hitting it too forward, not enough up. In some respect, I understand that. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but if he just plugs that one. That one's a little too hard. So Randt just got the laser beam off the screen drive there, and that's a tough game. Down 3-love now. A lot of really good things in that game from Regalado and Salazar. Just didn't execute the big moments.
No, it was a good game. I think they're playing, in a similar way. They raised their level in the second set. I think they've continued. Randt and Mitchell, they just have an answer for every shot so far.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, take away those 3 or 4 lobs that they missed, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it, really. I mean, that's the difference right there. There's nothing really else to say. Everything else about it was perfect, There aren't too many games where if you miss 3 lobs, you're going to win, right? And they had game point in it, so that means they're doing a lot of other things right. Just don't miss the lobs. Sort of like when you hold and you fall 3 times, it's like
Okay.
Yeah, right. You're working hard to lose that game. Not, it's the other way around. Oh, just right at his shoelaces there from Mitchell.
All right, these points are speeding up a little bit. They're going to find a way to slow it down.
Oh, he casually missed that. It's almost like, yeah, I got this, and then all of a sudden he just pushed it wide. All right.
Yep.
Yep. So it's 15-30, a little confusion on the score there. Regalado setting up the serve and the deuce. And that's just not, he's got to have his paddle out in front of him in the backhand volley, and he's setting up for that forehand.
That's the tough thing for the tennis player coming in. You have a more neutral, sometimes you lean forehand and paddle. Brad, it's what, 70% backhand you're holding?
Yeah. I mean, and the honest truth is anytime it's a moment where your opponent's going to drive, you really should be backhand setup because to switch it back and forth is very difficult. Now, some of the top players can do it, including like Randt, Mitchell, even these guys to a degree. Mark Power's great at switching from the forehand to backhand, but there are other guys who volley terrifically staying strictly with the backhand. Guys like McNerney never really hits a forehand volley. Guys like, Drew Bodrick. It's the best way to go about it unless you have insane hands.
This is a little bit embarrassing to mention, but I watched a video of you and My Paddle last night doing a backhand volley lesson. It was a 3-minute clip on My Paddle, and it really shows it's about the positioning, moving to the backhand, putting your body behind it, and this is really something that the tennis player has to figure out. It's a different tactical way to hit a volley.
Absolutely.
Light body movement, simple hands. And I think this is running away.
It's getting out of control now. They have there was a moment there where it was all still in control, and it got, like when you said about maybe a couple minutes ago, it's just getting a little too fast. That's a great ball. That's just a huge shot, but we'll see if they can hit their way in there. But this is actually, in a strange way, the slight danger moment for Randt and Mitchell because they could lose a little focus here, and they need to keep it as well.
Yeah, too many unforced errors coming. All right, Mitchell calling for the eye, something a little different.
I like it. Smart bail there. He knew he couldn't get back in position before that ball was getting hit.
The big swing from Alvi Regalado on that overhead, but the reality is it didn't really move off the screen.
Not much. Right, he's got to learn how to kind of
Yeah.
be a little more facile with the wrist, like kind of a little bit more underneath it. He's actually getting a little too much ball and not enough around and underneath it, but he'll get that soon enough, I'm sure. Ooh. Oh. It is actually unnerving and maddening how they just sort of stick their paddle out. Or Randt, like you hit a ball by him and he goes 1-2 steps and just flicks it up.
And I love the hands of Steve Mitchell. I mean, he's got such a simple execution of the volley, but that was off his shoestrings.
It's a great drive at his shoelaces, and he blocks it back like he just had a cup of coffee. Yeah, it's getting too fast. This is a game they had some purchase in.
Yeah. The classic, you try to overpress when you run out of road.
That's a
That's
great
a great lob.
It's interesting the way he does that, too. He holds his racket up, and it gives you a pause like you think he might be hitting it, so you take a little more time getting in, but that lob was just perfect. That's a good slow shot at his feet. Yeah, he's being smart about that. Like whenever Johan's in, he's not bouncing the ball down in front of him. He's hitting it through his feet, which is the absolute right play. All right, Deuce here. Start with one. At this point, at 4-love, you start with one game and you go from there.
Point at a time, game at a time. There's no other way to work yourself back.
That's a great return and blitz. Ton of pressure there put on from the return, and then the charging Regalado. They can play a really good point here. Take this game, put some pressure, a little bit of pressure back on. You don't use the off-base drives when they're at the net.
Right, use the off pace for the opponent that's going to slide back, right? Johan's not going to slide back off the net. There's nowhere he's going to retreat to. I mean, he gave him the exact ball he wanted.
Oh, that's great. Can he take it? Nice. Great moves from Mitchell. Oh, he gets the top of the net. He calls sorry, which he's not. But I think it's always good etiquette.
Sorry, not sorry, right?
Yeah.
The classic.
Yeah, I think it's great etiquette to do it because when you hit a let cord, you're not intending it. It's always, an accident because nobody's trying to hit a let cord. But you get them all the time, and you deserve them when you get it. That's a perfect hold, and the threat of the cut drop draws them in.
5-love. Volley is the official sponsor of the APTA for the 2023-24 season. Backed by cutting-edge technology, including its unique vision software, Volley is the innovator of the first AI-enabled racket sports training experience that simulates point play. By enabling players and pros to record sessions on the court, Volley also delivers off-the-court player analysis and support, all from your phone. It takes only minutes to sign up. Ask your pro about a volley lesson today, and for more information, visit getvolley.com.
Yeah, so great job there. I mean, 5-love down. It's a tall order. But, we'll see how it goes from here. Get the first point there, so 15-love for Regalado and Salazar. Yeah, they got to play this, though, like where they know they can't get it all back in one moment. Because, honestly, it's a 5-love set, but a lot of it was decent. They just moments, like the one game where they threw in the 3 lobs, right? Or, lob misses, or took one shot too quick. And like we always talk about, it comes down when you play these guys, your window of opportunity is very small, right? So you can't afford to throw things away because they're putting away so many other shots, right? That it just puts so much pressure on you in other ways, and the points are so important.
Yeah, we talked about that long point where they had a game point. Alvey was sort of a little bit opportunistic, trying that drop shot from well off the net.
Yeah, that was at 2-love.
That was it. That would have been 2-1 on serve.
Yeah, what a difference between even 2-1 versus 3-love, and then from that moment, it's sort of, you know, it got a little quick, a little fast, and then it disappeared a little. All right, so just 30-15. It's early on that serve. That serve landed a little short in the box, and Mitchell all over it. Wisely, he stays back. Yeah, they're speeding the point up here. Oh, I mean, yeah, unfortunate.
The net was theirs to take back, and he just sort of pushed it into the net.
He just missed it, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely perfect setup. Exactly what you're looking to do. It's sort of like when those type of things happen at this stage, you start to feel like it's just going against you. You know what I mean? Like that, it's not meant to be, but you just got to keep plugging away. And there, he's just slap shotting that. That's more like, let's see what happens. Get Regalado. He was just in the back screen a second ago, and now he's all over the net. That's crazy. That's awesome.
And they're fighting. Hey, it's a game point, like you said. All you can do is take 1 point, 1 game at a time.
That's just an ambitious move. It's really not how they want to play now. It's more like, I'm going to just play, and we'll see what happens. Smart lob, half volley there. That's always something that people don't understand. You can move forward in the court to try to press your position and look for your offense, but when you don't get it, just hit the lob and go back. A lot of people try to force it, like hit a perfect half volley at their feet.
Yeah, take your medicine. When you're on defense, play defense.
All right, deuce.
Whoop, might have to bleep that one out. Regalado, very frustrated.
Good. Incredible hands. He's backing away, slap shots it down the line. Oh, he goes for the smash. A really decent time for it. That was actually perfectly played. He had him back in the box.
Yeah, and it's a shot they haven't brought out yet.
I haven't seen it. I think he did it more out of frustration than anything else. But it was actually the perfect time for it. And there's their first game. So 5-1 now. There's still hope.
We have Alvey, setting up a nice push volley, but then
bam,
hits the acronym volley, as we say, and just absolutely brings Mitchell back into the net.
Yeah, great shot. All right, 5-1 now. Randt to serve. Let's go. Their story so far has been like a rocket ship arrival. Are they able to get this one back? That would be one for the ages, right?
Yeah, that's when I'm going to keep my wallet in my back pocket if you ask me to predict how this set's going to go.
Yeah, but
all conventional wisdom says this is going to be, a 6-1, 6-2 at the most, but these two are not going to give up.
Well, right now they're just kind of playing with fire and sort of like aggression, and they're just going to see how it turns out, which I totally understand at this point, because at this point, caution's thrown to the wind. Let's see how it works. Ah. Honestly, this is exactly how they want to play, though, Regalado and Salazar. Like Salazar wants to be, and Regalado wants to be running into that net and driving it forward every time. All right, so we're here at match point here for Randt and Mitchell. .40-30. Expertly called out by umpire Tim McAvoy. That's out. Look at that. All right.
2 loose points.
2 loose points. How about that? This is actually exactly what you hope for. Get it? At this point, it's going to be as much a chance as anything else, and the comeback is going to have more to do probably with Randt and Mitchell than actually even Regalado and Salazar. Now they get a break point.
Nice touch. Regalado went for the deep one first, up, down, and then went for the drop up, down on the second one.
Oh, look at that.
Great save from Salazar. They both were a little bit out of position there.
It's good.
It's absolutely good.
Yeah, that's a good call, though, from Regalado. He told him to leave it, and the ball's very close to the line. The percentages of hitting a great overhead there are low anyway, so good call to give it a chance to go out, see what happens. You're not likely to hold the net anyway.
It's the first cut that Salazar's actually been able to play a little bit offensively.
You know, we did see in the moment yesterday against Dennis and Friedrich in the quarterfinal. They're up 5-2, and they had a little walkabout, and they really, Dennis Friedrich played fine, but it was mostly Randt and Mitchell giving them back 3 games, right? And I don't see that here, but a couple loose things, right? Capacity exists for that for anyone, and it's tough when you get to a match. You have to finish it. That's a great track down. They're going to keep working it. Oh, can't come up with it.
That's that in between. Do I take it off 1? Do I take it off 2? All right.
And again, he's holding you, so he thought he might be moving to the middle there. Oh, lobs that. Oh, I think it was another seam.
It must have been.
Yeah, that came back. It should not have gone there. And now it's match point again, number 2. And he goes for it, and there it is, game, set, and match for Randt and Mitchell.
So flanked by 6-1 sets, really strong second set and comeback from Regalado and Salazar, but I think experience, not only the #1 team in the country, perhaps the best player to ever play platform tennis in Johan Durant, a learning experience if nothing else.
They comport themselves beautifully on the court. They got everything they need to be a top 2 or 3 team going forward. So Regalado and Salazar, put that on your list. They are a team to watch throughout this season, and it was a pleasure to watch that match and call that with you, Steve. We're going to be back here. There's another streaming court, so you can move from here and go check out the Araya McNerney match against Fraser and Morgan, where Fraser and Morgan had taken the first set 6-4. And then we'll be back for the finals at 11:30.
11:30. So that's a wrap from the Philly Cricket Classic with Brad Easterbrook. My name's Steve Sullivan, and we will see you at 11:30.
At first we were a little intimidated, the robot machine, but it was pretty easy, user-friendly tool to get reps in.
What's helpful with the trainer is that the ball is being, fed to us, where he can visually see it and correct us.
All right, those who are on the dots, I want you guys to see the position of the players at net. So once Val gets pushed out wide, okay, we want to see Aaron sliding over and looking to cover.
Well, I like that you can work on different shots. You can work on corner screens or you can work on the lobs, you can work on return of serve particularly. That's something I feel like we could never get enough work on, return of serve, and this is a tool that we could use to really work on that shot, which is such an important shot.
After today, it really did make me feel even more comfortable. I tried it a month ago and I really liked it, but I still felt a little intimidated. But Blake did a great job explaining it to us and also the software that comes with it, and we can adjust it to any level. So I would feel very comfortable using it. In fact, I'm definitely going to use it. I need a lot of work on my game.